Hold on, guys. Okay, I hope you can hear me. I wanted to come back at you guys today and talk to you guys about this Sosua situation, excuse me, because it is very important and there is a lot going on. We're hearing things every single day. And last night, when I actually tuned in with you guys, it was my 7-year anniversary. And I went out and I had a couple of drinks and I did a live to air. You know when they say don't call an ex when you had a couple of drinks? Don't do it live. And I go out on Thursdays and Saturdays generally, but I haven't been going out the way I used to go out. So just a few drinks and I'm like already giddy. Okay, hold on one second. I just want to, excuse me, I just want to make sure that I can hear myself. So I'm just going to tune in. There we go. Tune in. Okay, this is good. There we go. Tune in. Okay, this is good. There we go. So guys, a lot is going on. And again, I just wanted to come at you with a different live because I think it's really important for me to deliver this information to you guys in a fair way and in a professional manner, because a lot of you guys are wondering if you should cancel your trip or not even come here ever again to the Dominican Republic because of the changes, and also feeling like you're getting pushed out. Many of you guys feel like you're getting pushed out or targeted in some ways as well. I've been hearing a lot of guys say, oh yeah, no, you know, they're trying to target the dudes and stuff of that nature. And I don't, now really looking at it, I don't think that is the full case. Excuse me. I'm going to read a couple of articles to you guys. Before I do, I want to show you guys this magic mug. You guys can order one online since I'm going to be speaking about the chicas. Hold on. There we go. Watch this. You never know which one you're going to get. I don't know what one this one. This is a brand new one. Oh, this is a little cute one. Look at that. Can you guys see it coming up? She's eating some fish, I think it is, on the beach. This is for story time. My Gringa Chronicles. Maybe a little reflective there. There we go. This is for my story time. Gringa Chronicle, not Gringa Chronicles. Chica Chronicles. They come in a little box. And again, you never know which one you're going to get. It's always a surprise once you order one, but it can be delivered to you. You can pick it up here in the Dominican Republic as well. All right. So guys, there will be a story time later on today at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Today is story time Thursdays, and it will be out. This is just, again, a live that I am coming at you because I really got to clean up the mess that I made last night. All right. So this is what I want to read to you guys first. Okay, they will create, meaning the government here, will create a special prosecutor's office in Sosúa against crimes of pimping, commercial sexual exploitation, and illegal trafficking of migrants. The public ministry announced the creation of a special prosecutor's office located in the tourist municipality of Sosúa to act against the illegal actions of pimping, commercial sex exploitation, and illegal trafficking of migrants. We need to really focus on those words. I'm going to go back to those words because I want you guys to know that it's not as bad as I initially thought it would be. I don't know why my phone is shaking. Hold on. Oh, my fan. So now it says this was announced by the Attorney General of the Republic. And after the launch of the first phase of the Atlantic Operation, this is all called the Atlantic Operation, After several weeks of research of a multi-agency team that deepened in intelligence work and the security profile of all that town hall. Operation Atlantic has several phases. It goes beyond an interdiction operation. It involves a broader strategy that led to the higher council of the public ministry to approve the opening of a special prosecutor's office in Sosúa. He explained that, the magistrate explained that in the said operation carried out through the specialized prosecutor's office against trafficking in persons and illegal trafficking of migrants and the Plata prosecution office with the support of General Directorate of Prosecution, 35 prosecutors and more than 500 personnel from different agencies participated of the state. Now, there's more to the article, which I'm going to make sure that I put in the comments here, but you guys can find the article on my Facebook page. I have a Facebook page on on Facebook that is dedicated to the Dominican Republic only, and it is called North Coast Dominican Republic, okay? And it's on Facebook, and the article is there. You guys can join that group. It's a private group, so there's a lot of information in that group. A lot of people on Thursdays, for instance, we have Real Estate Thursdays, and then throughout the week, a lot of people post their businesses in there. Different restaurants and different deals that are going on in town and stuff of that nature. So I think it's really cool for you just to sign up. You don't have to live here. Now, what has happened as well, let's read another article. And then I'm going to talk to you guys about this, because it's not as bad as it sounds. Now, we're just going to go to what happened initially with the Operation Atlantic. On the night of Saturday, July 12th, authorities launched a large-scale raid across Sosua's nightlife scene, including nightclubs, bars, restaurants, guest houses, and private homes. Conducted by the National Police, the DNCD Immigration Prosecutor's Office, and Tourism Police. The operation resulted in dozens of arrests of sex workers, foreign visitors, business employees, and alleged traffickers were detained. So there were arrests and there were detainments. Reports indicate many were subjected to screening, some with pepper spray, and several were taken to multipurpose centers before onward transport. At one upscale residence, they went into houses and everything, guys. At one upscale residence in Agua Clara, just outside of Sosúa, 16 U.S. citizens and 7 Dominicans were questioned. A total of 29 women were found inside, including some suspected to be under 18. While prostitution itself isn't illegal in the Dominican Republic, brothels, pimping, and organizing prostitution are punishable crimes. So this is where it really brings us to the truth of what's happening. You guys aren't pimping. You guys are not, doing much, So Sosúa has long been flagged as a sex tourism hotspot, with several past crackdowns, including a 2019 raid targeting bars linked to trafficking. Local businesses and tourism groups have been pressuring authorities to clean up the sex tourism and reclaim Sosúa as a family-friendly destination, as it once was, even calling for protests around July 26 about safety and prostitution issues. So there's going to be a huge protest on July 26 this month. You guys hit that like button for me and subscribe. Now, the raid dates were July 12th to the 13th, 2025. Enforcement, National Police, DNCD, Immigration, Politor, Prosecutor's Office, again with the local bars, the clubs, the guest houses, the home in Agua Clara. They're only talking about that one home for a second. I'm going to also talk to you guys about Charamicos, and I'm also going to talk to you guys about what's the Haitians as well and Charamicos. Location, now arrests, detentions, and including sex workers, business staff, and foreigners. Citizens questioned 16 U.S. people and 7 Dominican nationals. Okay, so what's next? The authorities' stance: a clear move toward enforcing laws and exploitation of brothels and underage sex. So that's not the girls. It's not illegal. So they're not going to be targeting men. They're going to be targeting right here, enforcing laws on exploitation, brothels, and underage sex. Now, how will this impact tourism? Some venues may remain closed or operate under stricter rules temporarily. Now, the community's response again, July 26th, there will be some rally, and they're going to press for safer family-oriented tourism. Now, it's so multifaceted, all this information, in my opinion. It's really multifaceted. So what they're doing is they're targeting the underage sex, and they're targeting the brothels. They're targeting the pimping. They're targeting a whole lot of other things that a lot of us really don't know about. Those of you who are coming to meet a nice lady on Pedro Clisante and you do your pay to play, that's not you included in that situation. Okay? You are just coming here and enjoying your life. The exploitation are the people who are literally looking for underage girls, and people who are pimping out the girls, and people who have brothels. So this is something that they are doing with this Operation Atlantic. And what they want to do with this is make sure that it's not going to get out of control, because it's not illegal to prostitute. It's not illegal for you to come here and meet a girl and go be with her. So I'm not, trying to, advise you to, come here and get up with this girl and that girl. That's not what this video is about. But I do want to say that when you are here and you are with a woman in your quiet Airbnb and you're, doing your thing, don't be afraid that someone's going to bust open the door and bum rush you and take you and deport you or anything of that nature. This is not what they're talking about. But if you are in a brothel, if you are in a place that, caters to women and they're getting you women and you are literally going into that place, then I would say think twice about it. A lot of us here, I never really hear of guys going into brothels. I do hear of them going to cabañas, but none of the cabañas were mentioned in this whole entire article. And there are a lot of cabañas. I think with that, people just go, they do their thing. If you guys don't know what a cabana is, it's you go there and you pay for like a certain amount of time, whether it's a half an hour, an hour, a day, and you go there with a lady. And a lot of guys do that because they don't want to take the ladies back to their hotel, right? They just want to be private. They don't want any women around them. So good morning, you guys who are just tuning in right now. Thank you for being here. So now, with all of that being said, I think there's a lot of fear going on. And for me, for one, when I first did the first video on this situation, I was like, what in the world? But now I get it. I'm going to tell you guys a little story. I was walking, and a lot of the times, the women that are on the streets there, they are not having your best interests in mind. A lot of those women are dangerous. A lot of them are good. And many of them are just here to make money. This is where the money is, Sosua. They want this to be a good, I'm going to tell you guys a story in a second, but they want it to be family friendly again. Now, I can see that in the daytime, you know, maybe the girls won't be around. Right now, it was a ghost town yesterday. I drove up Pedro Clasante and there were no women. Now, the women are usually out all day long. They come out a lot more at night, obviously, in droves. Like there's a lot. And it's busy and it's great. The energy is high energy. And I don't know what families are going to want to be on those corners at nighttime. I don't know what children are going to be awake after 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So if they are trying to enforce something to be family friendly, then it looks like they're trying to clean it up for the daytime hours, and they just don't want underage women out there. And there are a lot of them. I had a friend tell me the other day that he asked this girl for her identification. Excuse me. And she gave him her identification. She handed it right over to him, and he looked at it and he read it, and he took her back to his place. When they were leaving his hotel, right? He wasn't an expat here, he was visiting. They were leaving the hotel, and the hotel is in Sosúa. When they were leaving the hotel, the front desk didn't say anything to him at all. A lot of the times people mind their business, but when he was exiting, there was a security guard at the hotel, and the security guard said to him, "She's underage." And he was like, "No, she's not. I looked at her identification." And the security guard said, "She's underage. I know she's underage." And he's like, "I looked at her identification." And the security guard said to the girl, "Show me your identification." And the girl took out her identification and she showed it to the security guard, and it was fake ID. And he said, "That's not real. That's fake identification." So it's even to that point where when you guys do ask for identification and you think that she is like 18 years old, she could be 14. You have to be very careful. Now, 18 is the legal age for everything here. For drinking, for driving, for marriage, for intimacy. It is the legal age here. So even if someone does look mature, if she looks young, don't risk it. You shouldn't risk it. It's not worth it. And I know a lot of you guys come here for that reason. You want to be with a nice young lady, but I wouldn't risk that. Now, if you are a person who just likes to come down, you really enjoy the sun, you really enjoy having a cigar or a good fresh juice and a good, adult beverage, and you're chilling and you're enjoying your life, again, don't be afraid to come here. You are not the target with Operation Atlantic. Operation Atlantic is only about the cleaning up the place for the girls. So their target, again, it's the brothels, it's the pimping. Now, a lot of these ladies aren't even being pimped out. A lot of them, they just come in together in couples and like 4 or 5 girls together. Thank you guys for the hearts there. You guys hit that like button. A lot of the girls come together in groups. They're not being pimped. But here's another little story time for you. You guys know that I find apartments for people, right? So I had a dude, he got an apartment and he wanted to put it on Airbnb. He lives in the United States and he put it on Airbnb. Now he got himself a studio apartment, and in order to make his money quicker and get more reviews and get into the algorithms, because that's what you have to do on Airbnb, you have to take your price down a little bit at first, and you got to get reviews. The more reviews you get, the more you get into the algorithms, and the more Airbnb will push your property. So that's what he did. He lowered his prices, and he messaged me because I had a girl watching, like taking care of the apartment for him. Now he messages me and he's like, "Cerise, I got someone coming in." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, "They're coming in from Santiago." And I was like, "Oh, is it an expat?" And he's like, "No." Hold on, guys. I'm just going to turn off my fan because it's blowing my phone. So he says to me, he says, it's 3 people. Is that okay in the studio? And I'm like, that doesn't sound right. Why would 3 people be coming from Santiago to rent out a studio? I said, how much is your studio every night? And he said $35. And it was a brand new, beautiful studio, modern studio. And I was like, that doesn't sound good to me. Can you send me the name? Now, don't hate on me for this. It's just, it is what it is. And I had to look out for the landlord's apartment. So he sent me the name of the person. And I said, send me their photo. And he's like, their photo's not there. They're not a verified Airbnb user. But this is their name. And it was a Dominican name, a guy. And I was like, and he told you that he's bringing 2 women? And he said, yeah. And I'm like, you know what? Put your prices up a little bit more, at least to like $40, because it's low. And what you're doing is you are attracting pimps that are coming in with girls. And you don't want that, because they're going to end up just, taking the sheets. They're going to end up ruining the place. They're going to party in your place. It's not going to be cool. And he was like, oh, so he upped the price a little bit. Now, the thing is this, there are places here along Pedro Clasante, when you go up Jamaica Street, when you go up Hollandia, when you go up a few more of those streets, there are private homes that rent out places to the girls by night. Those are not brothels. They're not even allowed to bring men in there, but it's like a rooming house for women. So you do have men that come here with women and they rent out Airbnbs, the low budget ones. And then also you have the women that come here that don't have pimps and they rent out a room by the night. And there was these girls, sometimes it's like $10 a night. Now here in Charamicos, where I live where I love and I love where I live. Anyway, here in Charamicos, where I live, there are 3 hotels that cater to the women as well. And these women, they come here. They're right near the hotel the colmado that I go to. And I see it all the time. And the girls rent out places there. These places, one is $6 a night. The other one is $10 a night. I think there's one that's not bucks. Sorry, 600 pesos a night. There's another one that's 500 pesos a night. And so 600 pesos is $12. There's one that's 300 pesos a night. That's $6 approximately. Now, they are dives. They're like literally concrete little caves kind of thing, full of cockroaches and everything of that nature. But it's a place for them to lay their head. And they stay there. They get all fixed up, and the nighttime they go out. They sleep all day long, and then in the evening time, you see them getting on their motoconchos and they head to Bate. So those places are not being busted. Those are not brothels. Those are places where the girls sleep. So yes, there are a few places, guys that come in from Santiago, Santo Domingo with the ladies, and they bring the girls in. And so this is who is being targeted as well, pimps. So if a guy comes up to you on the beach, you're just chilling there, you're just sitting alone, right? And he comes over to you and he's like, my friend. He speaks English very good. Mi amigo, how are you? Sometimes they'll even try to lie and say, do I know you? You look so familiar. I know you from before, right? Now, if you are a person that does come here often, you may be taken aback and not remember his face, but be like, oh yeah, maybe I've been here before. And then all of a sudden you're fast friends. And he is there going up to you because he most likely looks good, has a nice pair of runners on, has a nice t-shirt on, maybe even a brand name belt, something of that nature. And he's not asking you for anything. He's not trying to beg you for money, but he's offering you what you want, what you need. I have a eyelash in my eye. He's offering you Bob Marley. He's offering you snow. He's offering you pills. And he's also offering you women. Be careful of that man. Be very careful of him. He's being followed, first of all. And oh my gosh, sorry guys. He's being followed. He's already a target. There's a lot of undercover police here in Sosúa. You wouldn't even believe it. They're wearing jeans, just like a normal undercover cop. And a lot of them. And I saw a few of them one day, which I'll get to. So, he's already being marked. He's already being targeted. So be careful who you talk to on the beach, because immediately, as soon as you talk to that person, even if you're not buying any snow, even if you're not buying any Bob Marley, even if you're not interested in the sisters that he has, or cousins that he has, but really he's not even related to them, then, just keep it moving. He's not your friend. He's not somebody that you're going to chill with on your vacation. You don't want to be a part of it. You want the people who are keeping eyes on him to be proud of you, because they'll be like, oh yeah, that gringo's good. That gringo's like chumping the guy off. You just keep it moving. You don't want anything. Don't give him any money. Even if he says, oh, my friend, okay, do you have 100 pesos? Because usually they don't need money. They have their women, right? They're selling. They don't need it. But sometimes they will even ask you for a cigarette. When you hand something over, and that cops, whoever has eyes on that dude, sees you hand something over, they may not see what you're handing him. Don't even shake his hand. Because you know how you can shake hands and someone can put a dime bag and hey, always dap. Just dap. Don't shake anybody's hand. Don't touch anybody. Just watch your back. Mind your business, and no one's going to mind it for you, and you're not going to get in trouble. Don't cancel your vacation. This is Sosúa. Sosúa is great. The women selling their bodies is not illegal. I just read that article to you. And again, if you're just tuning in right now, you want that article, I'm going to put it in the comments below, the link where you can go and read it, okay? And I'll just copy and paste it into the description. I'll do that in the description of the video, so you don't have to click off and go anywhere. When I'm finished the video, you can read it, you can share it with people. And I just want you to know that when you are coming here, don't be afraid. Don't think that you are the target. You are not a pimp. You don't have a brothel. You're not going to a brothel. You are literally coming here to enjoy your time. So they are looking for people who are getting underage girls and who are exploiting the migrants, who are exploiting the sex trade. And a lot of you guys are not exploiting anything. I see a lot of you guys come here. You're on the street. Right now on Pedro Clisante, last night when I looked, I went out last night for my 7-year anniversary, here 7 years. I went out and I thought, okay, let me go up Pedro Clisante just to see. The girls were not there. They were not there. The girls are scared, so a lot of the girls now, they are just opening up Bumble. They are opening up dating sites. Some of them can't even speak English, and they are just putting their photos up. They're on Facebook now. I have a Facebook group. It's everything North Coast Dominican Republic, and it's a private group. So before someone can post, it has to be approved. Some of these girls are posting their photos. And I see them before, I don't approve them because it's not a prostitution group, but some of these girls are now doing that. They're going on Facebook, the Facebook groups. So, this is what is happening right now. So don't cancel your trip. Another story, the girls are getting kind of rough. And back in the day, the girls used to be very beautiful. So I heard, before my time, I heard that they took very good care of themselves. I don't think they take bad care of themselves now. I think they're very beautiful. They do their hair, they do their nails. They don't look dirty to me, but a lot of the guys who are expats, they are telling me that like 10 years ago, the quality of the women were so much more beautiful. They tell me that now they have tattoos going all down their neck. They have piercings all over their face. I'm not one to talk. I have pure earrings there and over here, and I'm filled with tattoos, so I'm not putting down anybody, but this is what I hear. And not all men like a woman that has tattoos. Some guys are repelled against a woman that has tattoos. They're just like, ew. You guys make sure you hit that thumbs up button. It's very early in the morning to do a live, and look at how many of you guys are here. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And so the girls these days, they have piercings all over their face, tattoos up to their neck. They're walking around with, a lot of substances in their body, and there's a lot happening. And the Dominican Republic is getting bad press because of it. So I honestly feel that the quality of women will change. The women will never, ever leave. That's just ridiculous to even think that. And you won't be arrested just for being with a woman. That's ridiculous to think as well. But just don't go into brothels. So now the women that are on the street, they're rough. I had a woman accost me, a prostitute. I was walking down the street. This was years ago. I had my own television show here. Some of you guys might remember. Every Wednesday at 7 o'clock in the evening was my television show. It was in the casino upstairs in that building, the Coral Reef, the blue building by the beach. I went in every single Wednesday, and then those evenings I would afterwards leave it was an hour show, so I would go until 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, I would walk along Pedro Clisante. I would stop and grab a bite to eat, grab a drink, say hi to a few tourists, other expats, get on a motor concho and go home, right? So I always keep the peace. And I don't even go to the casinos or the discos. I will go to a bar and watch some live bands and stuff of this nature. So I don't mind the girls. But one day I was going up the street and I was talking to my buddy on the phone. Okay. I was doing a little video, not of the girls. I'm looking at myself. Okay. And I'm looking at my buddy. So we're talking as I'm going up the street, and I walk across the street. There's a motor concho. So I'm still talking to him. I get across the street to a motor concho now. This motor concho, he's a young dude. I don't take him a lot, but he is somebody that knows where I live, right? So when I walk up Pedro Clisante, I don't just take any motor concho. They have to say to me, they call me out, Charamicos. And I say, hey, and I'll go to them. Once they say Charamicos, I know that I've used them before at some time in the past, and so I'm good. So anyway, I go to this guy, and I'm just about to get onto his motorcycle, and a girl comes over to me, and she slaps my phone out of my hand. And I was like, whoa, that, you know what traumatized me? The fact that I looked down at that cell phone and picked it up. That is where my dad always taught me, never turn your back on your enemy, right? But I guess I sensed that, I don't know why she was doing it. So I picked up my phone and I looked at her and I said, why did you do that? And she said, what? And I said, is this your man? Like, is this your man? Like, he's a motor concho. He's taking me home. I'm not interested in him. That's what I thought it was. I thought she was like, just trying to be territorial, right? And she said, you're filming me. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And she's like, yes, you are. And at that point, I'm speaking Spanish. She's speaking English. I didn't even realize she was speaking English. And I kicked off. I was like, what? Why are you making yourself so important? You're not important in my world. Why would I be videoing you? And I got so upset that that's the reason why she slapped my phone down. She could have broke it, right? And then she was like, what? And she took it personally that I said to her, don't make yourself so important in my life, you know? And she was like, and then I totally wanted to show her on my phone that there are no photos of her or any video of her. So I walked over to a restaurant, and I told her, come and look at my phone. And she followed me, and I opened up my phone because the person in the restaurant, one of the girls in the restaurant knows me, a waitress, and she opens the restaurant door and she says, Cerise, is everything okay? And I'm like, no, it's not. This girl just totally smashed my phone out of my hand because she thinks I'm filming her. You know, that's not cool. You don't do that to someone. And then I showed her my phone because at the end of the day, I did want to clear my name. I did want to vindicate my character. And I also wanted her to know that that's not my thing. I'm not going to go and video girls on Pedro Clisante. You know, I don't do that for views on YouTube. That's just low class, in my opinion, even if a guy does it, you know. So anyway, she was quiet, and I saw her many times after that, and we ignored each other. I never saw her, like, I couldn't even care less before that. But after that, I started to watch my back a lot. And every time I walked by her, my spider senses would go up. So I would look at her and let her know, like, I see you. Like, don't try to do anything funky, you know, because I don't know. I just felt, after that, I just felt a little insecure, to be honest with you. She always had girls with her. She's young. You never know what young girls are going to do to retaliate, because she really didn't like it when I told her that she's not that important in my world. It actually hurt her. You could see on her face that she took that personally. And I think she took it like, you're just a hoe, like, please. But I didn't mean it that way. I just meant like, yo, you do your thing. What you're doing is not important to my world, my life. Anyway, fast forward. For many weeks, I saw her every single time I was on Pedro Clisante, and she was out during the day as well. She wasn't just a nighttime girl. And, you know, I wanted to say hi to her. I wanted to make peace with her. I don't like to have enemies. I don't want to be a bully. I don't like having any negative out there in the universe. And, you know, and she's a young girl too, and I didn't want her to feel like anything bad. So I made peace with her. Actually, my friend Nancy was here, and my friend Nancy walked up to her, and because I told my friend Nancy the story. Nancy and I were walking by her, and I told Nancy the story, and Nancy got so upset. Nancy's a Puerto Rican, and she was visiting here, and she's like 5'4". I'm 5'9". Right? She's like 5'4". She walks right over to this girl, and she's like, "You leave Cerise alone," blah blah blah. And the girl said to Nancy, "You know what your friend said to me? Your friend said that I'm not important. I'm nobody. Like, I'm a nothing." And then Nancy came back to me, and Nancy, and I said to Nancy, I went over and I pulled her by her arm, and I'm like, don't stick up for me. It's okay. I can fight my own battles. That's how seriously silly this was. And then Nancy said, "Yeah, you know what? She was really hurt that you said she was nothing. She's a nothing." I said, "I didn't say that. I said she was not important to me in my life, in my world." And then when I realized that she maybe had that insecurity, that she is maybe, you know, doing something with her life that people disrespect, and I'm a grown woman, and she knows that I'm a foreigner here, and she knows I'm an expat, and so I wanted to clear the air, and I went up to her and I said, "Hey, you know, let's make peace. You know, this is ridiculous now." And she said yes, like, you know, she said yes, okay. And after that, we said, like, I nod and I say hello. You know, I still am careful and watch my back. But just a few weeks ago, I was on Pedro Clisante, and I was talking to my brother on the phone. My brother lives in Edmonton, and I was talking to him long distance on the phone, and there were 3 Haitian girls, and it was around 11 o'clock at night. I was at my friend's bar. She's a manager there. She's a Canadian. And so, but I was on the street talking to my brother, and these 3 Haitian girls come and they stand right beside me, and they start screaming at each other, yelling at the top of their lungs at each other. And I'm on the phone. And so I said to them, I said, "Hola, like, excuse me, amor, like, shh, silencio, por favor, like, silence, please. I'm on the phone. Yo hablo con mi hermano," like, I'm talking to my brother in Canada. And they looked at me and they went, all 3 of them. And I was like, yo, if this street was like empty, they would have tried to jump me. The face on them, and I looked right at them, And of course I smiled and I said, come on. And they were like, and they walked away. Right. But I mean, they weren't even cognizant of the fact that here I am on the phone. They come and they stand right beside me. And I thought to myself after that, because my purse was my purse was open. And I thought after that, maybe they were getting close and talking and trying to make a commotion to and they were like literally up on me. So I'm like, what, were they trying to pickpocket me? So a lot of pickpocketing goes on in Pedro Closante as well, in the casinos. And a lot of men are vulnerable to the women that are just out to get what they can get. So this is a cleanup. It's not a push away. I think that you guys are still going to be fine. So don't cancel your trips. Still come here. It's such a beautiful place to be. And, you guys, I know you guys love coming here. So there's a few messages here. Cece, I know it's okay. I get now. I thought you were really going in on that guy a couple of days ago on Razor Raza, your best roaster. Who's that? Hello. Is that for me? I have a roaster. I don't care. This is the thing. There are, just today before I even did this, somebody messaged me on Facebook and told me that there's another vlogger here, that lives here, and he was talking badly about me on his live. And I'm like, I don't even watch his videos at all. I'm not in competition with anybody except myself. I do my best to be my best each and every day. And I try not to step on anyone's toes here in Sosua. And that person who was going in on me is like, I was a little bit, I was like, I wonder why they would do that. I was the first one to break the news about Playa Sosua changing. Sosua Beach being under construction. And all of the other vloggers were like, and all of the people were like, that will never happen. That will never, ever happen, Cerise. It will never, ever change. Blah, blah, blah. And at that time, that vlogger went in on me as well. And he said, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Sosua, they've been saying they're going to do this and do that to Sosua for so long. And he was wrong. And then obviously, the changes are happening and the plazas are looking good and the place is getting cleaned up. The streets are getting fixed. There's no more potholes in certain roads. There's a lot of potholes, but they're fixing a lot of the potholes as best they can. So, some vloggers are always going to have something to say. And I think what they do, two things. Haters will always help your algorithms. Haters will always say something, but when he says what he says, okay, there's going to be 3 people, 4 people that actually tune into my channel. And they may hate on me more than him. Or they may say, what? There's nothing wrong with her. I actually like her channel better than yours, So there's always going to be haters, but you won't hear me hate on my channel against any other vloggers because I don't really have the time to watch their videos, and I'm so focused on my own lane and doing everything that I got to get done. Like I said to you guys, I have these mugs that turn magic and then they go back black again. I just created this whole line of products. Cerise Loose, it's called. Most of my name with loose, it means light. This is for the skin. This is for the beard and for the skin as well. It's amazing. It makes the skin so soft. This is as well for dry lips and any type of cracked lips, and also for women that smoke and they get, lines around their lines around their face. And also this here is for the beard as well. Like, I'm literally making businesses. I'm ordering bottles and, doing stuff online. I can't be sitting around talking about other vloggers on my lives or on my videos. I can't, because my mentality is not it's not at a low vibration, My mentality is always at a high vibration, always thinking about creation. This is not my only YouTube channel. When I meditate in the morning, I'm not thinking about other people. I'm thinking about what I got to get done. With this 53 years of my life, I still have so many plans, books I'm writing, I'm always creating. And when you vibrate at a low level, that's when you're actually going to talk about people. You're going to hate on people. You're going to compete with other people. And that's not a good thing, because you're taking away precious time from your own success. So, yeah, I'm aware that people do hate on me. Just recently, that one vlogger was hating on me, and I was the one that told him to start his channel. And not only that, I actually did a live and said something nice about his business. I guess 2 weeks ago, I did a live, and I said something very nice about his business, and I didn't get any type of promotion for that, like nothing. So I don't know why he would go in on me like that. And not only that, I always big up his place, his business. So it's a little unnecessary. If he wants to say something, just bring out the facts of what he wants to say on his live. Don't make your live about belittling another person or attempting to. Right? We can't do that in life, guys. Anyway, I'm going on about that, and I'm giving it way too much energy. So yeah, I have people sometimes message me and tell me that this is going on and that's going on. And I always tell them, please don't tell me. What I don't know won't hurt me, right? There's a few guys that do it. And it's like, maybe they're just in competition. Some of them even try to do story time. Some of them, there's always, I have viewers. We have the same viewers, right? So viewers will contact me through Facebook, through WhatsApp, and they'll be like, oh, you know what so-and-so said about you? And they won't use my name when they say something, but I'm the only female vlogger in Sosúa, right? So yeah, they do what they do. Let them do it. Let them do it. Haters, player, hater, let them do it. It doesn't do any, it doesn't stop the beat of my drum, and it doesn't prevent me from succeeding in life. So I went totally off, but I do want to get back on track. So yeah, guys, if you are in town, I would love to give you guys, whoever, the first 10 people that contact me, I would love to give you one of these products. I would love for you to try it on your beard. It's great. It softens the hair. It softens the skin. These products are all amazing. So if you like, and it smells like orange. This one is orange. And I have ones that smell like coconut. And I have you know what's in these oils actually? Frankincense, resin, myrrh, resin, and those are ancient oils. They're very good for the skin. There's also rose hip and bachuquio. So it's great for skin. If you have any scarring, if you have any aging, you just let me know. They're all for sale here, but I can't send them out to the United States from here or to Canada from here. Maybe one day, especially with all the changes that are going on in the Dominican Republic right now. There were other products that I made with mango nut years ago, and I would take the mango seed. There's a nut inside of it, and you dry it out, grind it up. You put other little, like I was putting other products within it, no chemicals, and it was making my hair grow. And I was selling it like a powder, and I took it to EPS, and I was like, how much does it cost to send this to Canada? And they looked at me and they're like, you can't send that to Canada. And I'm like, why? I just want to export these products that I have. They're like, no, you can't do that. Like you need to be approved for certain things and it costs so much. So yeah, you guys have to get these products here. That was all a shameless plug. But let's get back to Sosua and the growth. And also this cup. Here's another shameless plug. My Chica Chronicle cups. Mugs, the magic mugs. I'm going to read some of these comments right here. But I really hope they don't have that. You guys are not telling me anything about what other vloggers are saying. Yeah. Going to be empty. Let me see. Caribbean Casanova. Let me see. Miko Worldwide Enforcer, you're back. I mix my fragrance with my baby batter. I don't know. Caribbean Casanova. So, there we go. There we go. 7 days on antibiotics. You ate a few mangoes. I wouldn't stay at none of those places on the strip. Too many dirty. You know, the thing is this. I'm seeing a couple of those messages, guys. I love when you talk to yourselves amongst the comments, because you always have something to say that I can, talk about as well. There's a thing that, a lot of the apartments, the landlords that I work with, they are very clean, and they make sure that they do a lot, like they wash their sheets, and they do a lot to make sure that you guys are clean. But at the end of the day, you guys are sleeping in a bed that has probably been slept in over and over and over again. And so my suggestion is always request a bed that has plastic on it still. And always bring your own sheets and your own towels. And that's what I would do if I was, that's what I used to do when I was traveling around the world. I haven't traveled in 7 years. 7 years ago, yesterday, was the last time I ever traveled on a plane. But I would always bring like my own towel, my own sheets. They're so easy to just fold up, and it's inexpensive, and you're sleeping on your own stuff. And just or bring your own plastic cover if the bed doesn't have a cover. You can buy those plastic covers at any store. So when it comes to the sheets, when it comes to the towels, when it comes to the mattresses, just be mindful. I've never really heard of anyone getting any type of diseases, or like scabies or scabies or whatever it's called, from any of the places here in the Dominican Republic. I do have a friend that got scabies from a couple of the Haitian girls that he sleeps with in Maranata. And he says that he got it a few times. And it's because a lot of them were bathing in the river. And, they weren't getting the proper water and stuff like that. So that's the only time I really heard of. Oh, no, there was a story time, too, of a woman bringing scabies here. She was not living here. She was a girlfriend that brought it here from America. So yeah, guys, just wanted to talk to you guys about that today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'm going to be bringing out a story time. This story time is a cautionary tale. I'll be bringing it out later today around 2:00. And it's a cautionary tale. It's actually a little crazy. I'm going to give you guys a spoiler alert. A wife hired a private investigator to follow her husband here. He's a wealthy dude, does a lot of investments here. And she was, online, and she was looking at, what was the draw, what was the attraction, why does he keep coming here? Because he has condos all around the world. And she was like, wow, he keeps going back to the Dominican Republic. He has condos in Bahamas, Bermuda, Jamaica. And but he doesn't go to them. He just puts them on Airbnbs and he has people manage them. But his condo here, he kept coming to all the time. And so she went on a live on YouTube. And well, first she went online to just look up Sosua, because she was so curious as to why her husband of 22 years was acting a little different. So she goes online, she Googles Sosua, and videos on YouTube started to come up. So she went on YouTube and she's looking at different videos and she's checking them out. And then a live video came up of some guy who's not a vlogger here or an expat. He was just a guy that was trying to start his own YouTube channel and get some really good views. So he was on Playa Sosua, on Sosua Beach, and he was doing his live and he was telling the guys about the girls and, what to do with the mangoes and all this, right? And she chimed in as being an investigative wife. And she's like, oh, my husband's there for business. And he's like, I don't think your husband's coming for business. I think you just don't know your husband, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, check your husband's WhatsApp. And she didn't even know what WhatsApp was. So she turns around and she checks her husband. She asked her husband, she's like, do you have WhatsApp? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, let me see it. And he's like, I'm not going to show you my WhatsApp. It's like private. Like it's my business. Like I have a lot of business contacts in there, a lot of stuff you don't need to know. And he never ever did that to her before, ever. In all the years, she never felt like she needed to go into his phone. He never had a code, so she always trusted him. And then she started to do more investigating after that, because she realized that he was being evasive. And so she hired, there's more to the story, so you guys watch it, story time today when I bring it out. There's a lot more to the story. The girl that he was cheating with, the girl like who he fell in love with, oh my gosh, it's so multifaceted, just like has a lot of layers to it, like all the story times. But she hired an investigator to come for just a weekend, because he started to take just weekend trips here. He would come on like a Thursday and leave on a Sunday. And she was finding that really fishy. Like, why are you taking weekend trips from Canada to the Dominican Republic? Like, it was, for her, it seemed like he was acting like he was going to the cottage, And for her, those were big trips. And so anyway, the private investigator ended up coming here. They were on the same flight coming down. He followed them. He followed the private investigator followed the dude, the husband, and the husband's girlfriend to the hotel from the airport. Could you imagine? Imagine you come down here and someone follows you. You have a wife and you're with the guys, and your wife pays for, well, he was alone, but your wife pays for a private investigator. Anyway, I asked her how much something like that costs, and she said, well, to pay for his flight, it was free because they have all these air miles, and to pay for she paid him daily, and he was getting quite good money for daily, but she didn't really have to pay him a lot. At the end of everything, it was only $3,000 she had to pay him, and for like the whole weekend for him to come here, the private investigator. So at first I was like, whoa, you must have spent thousands on that, but she didn't. It was only $3,000. But the thing is this, he followed the husband to the hotel, not the hotel, to the condo, and he literally got himself an Airbnb in that condo. It's in Europa. Okay, I don't say that in the story time. I actually didn't say that in the story time. I didn't say where it was, but for those of you who are on live right now, you would know what Europa is all about, right? You can go into Europa and there's people that own condos there and they rent them out, and you can go to the front desk and you can book something as well, and they will book it on the spot there for you. And so that's what this private investigator did. Then the private investigator just stayed in the lobby and waited for the husband. The husband went out with his girlfriend and they walked down the street on Pedro Clasante and they went to Dulce y Sapora. right? There's a little restaurant there. They went in there, nice little restaurant, and they were having dinner. The private investigator went into the restaurant, sat down in the restaurant, all the way over from this dude. And you know what the dude did, the husband? The husband looked at the private investigator and said, "Weren't you on my flight?" And the private investigator's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, do you come here often?" Oh, and it was just such, like what you guys do when you're here. We all do that. When we notice someone from our flight and then we see them in the restaurant or whatever, we're like, "Hey, how you doing? Wow, it's nice to see you." It's like fast friends, fast old friends. Well, that's what happened. It was comical, but also very freaky. And then the husband invited the private investigator to have like a couple of drinks and a couple of cigars outside by the pool in Europa, because he's like, "Where are you staying? Do you come here much?" and everything. And the private investigator said, "Oh, I'm just staying down the street here." And then the husband said, "I stay there." Oh my gosh. Synchronicity is an amazing thing, and truth is stranger than fiction. These story times always blow my mind. So in any case, he invited the guy for cigars and drinks, and they went and they sat by the pool, and then they actually went upstairs to his condo. He's like, "Come on up to my condo, I'll show you what I got." And they went upstairs. He did the job for the private investigator, did everything, gave him everything in a nice little bow. And the private investigator took photos of everything, and he sent everything to the wife. And then the wife came down. And how I know this story is because they contacted me for soul coaching, because now the husband, the wife doesn't want the husband. They're going through a divorce, and the husband he wanted me to sell the condo for him, because he's like, he's not allowed to come back here any longer. His wife is you got to sell that condo. When the wife came down, the wife met the girl. The wife literally went to the condo. The husband wasn't here. The wife came down and went to the condo, and she met the girl, because the girl stayed in the condo all the time. And I thought it was a little dangerous that the private investigator would give out the address, because what if the wife was deranged? What if the wife was unhinged and she comes here and freaks out? She goes to the condo and she freaked out, so I thought that was a little dangerous. I was like, well, that's a little dangerous. But at the same time, I guess him being a private investigator, he knows who his clients are and how far to go or whatever. I don't know, I shouldn't question his expertise. But yeah, she came down here, she went to the condo, she spoke to the lady, and then that's when the husband contacted me, and he's like, "Listen, I watch your story times, and I didn't think I would ever be one, but I'm going to give you a story time, and I'm also going to ask you to please sell my condo for me." And so that's when I had to go in and take a video of the condo, and that's when I met the woman as well, the mistress. And she was a very nice girl. She was in school. She wasn't a working girl. And I met her as well then. And she, just wanted him to continue giving her money for her business, because she was in catering school, and she would make she would do events like for weddings and big time events that they have here, for birthdays and stuff like that. She would do a lot of catering, and all she wanted him to do when everything was said and done was send her plates and knives and tablecloths and forks and all that stuff, really nice things, classy things for her business, and send her money. And that's all she asked for, which was really nice as well, because she was living in that condo for a while, and she lived in there when he wasn't there. So that's a story time and a half. Now, those story times will never stop, because they're not always about working girls. But I do want you guys to know again, Sosua is changing. And if they're trying to make it family friendly, I'm pretty sure that they're going to achieve that. And it will be achieved in the daytime. Pedro Clasante caters to tourists no matter what. And you guys, when you're here, you're not on Pedro Clasante, having sex at the bars. You're meeting girls, and you will always meet girls. These girls that will come into town now will have to make sure that they are a little cleaner. They will have to make sure that they aren't presenting themselves like working girls. They're going to have to be very discreet. They're going to have to be very classy, like how they were way back in the day. And they are not going to be able to pickpocket you guys any longer. They're not going to be able to, go to your hotel room and steal out of your safe and steal your passport and try to sell it back to you. And all of these story times that I always hear from people, it goes on and on and on. And so a lot of these women will be on the lookout to not do that any longer. They will be in a position where they are terrified to do that because they will get arrested and in a lot of trouble, not just put in jail and then have to pay their way out that night. They will get in a lot of trouble because there's going to be offices here now in Sosúa that are catering to the industry in regards to making sure there's no brothels, in regards to making sure there's no underage girls, and also making sure that there's no pimping. And that's what this Operation Atlantic is all about. It is all about regulating the situation. Because again, prostitution, although it's not illegal, it is being exploited in other ways through brothels, through younger girls. And these younger girls, it's not, sometimes you guys are not looking for younger girls. Sometimes you guys literally don't know how to tell age, and you get yourself into some situations, and they're very uncomfortable situations. And you guys even ask to look at the ID. Like I said earlier in the video, the guy that looked at an identification and it was fake ID. So these are situations that are going to be regulated. And I believe it's going to help the guys that come here. And it's going to be something that you guys will be like, wow, this is a breath of fresh air. The girls are cleaner. The girls are treating you better. The girls aren't, pickpocketing you at the casino. They're going to be on their toes. They're going to be dotting their I's and crossing their T's. They're not going to be able to take advantage of you guys the way that they do right now. And I know that we use that word simp a lot here in Sosúa. I do, especially because I see a lot of men that come here and are simps. And a lot of the stories, I tell a lot of the stories because I want you guys to not be simps. But a lot of you guys, you get caught up, and it's not your fault. You get caught up. You get here and, you want to give to the girls, and you fall in love, you catch feelings, and you start getting taken advantage of. And it happens very quickly, very fast. I have seen guys come here and within, oh my gosh, like, it's so intense and it's so quick. I see guys fall in love in a weekend. I see guys just like, they think the woman, they're the only man in that woman's life, and they get lied to and everything. And I've seen so much, but I guess a better quality of women will be coming, and the Dominican women are beautiful. And many of you guys come here that do catch feelings. You're not just coming here for the pay to play. You're not coming here just for sex. You're not coming here just to, exploit the sex industry. You're not doing that. You're coming here because you're having fun with the guys. Just traveling alone, just getting on a plane with a bunch of guys is really fun. So that will always be the same on Pedro Clasante. Sosúa is so much more than a street. There's rivers, and there's like a lot of wonderful restaurants. Yesterday, for my 7-year anniversary, I went with one friend to a restaurant across from Sosúa Ocean Village, and it's called El Choco. and it's a Swiss restaurant. I went and I got myself pineapple cocoa curry, a meal with pineapple cocoa curry. It was so delicious, very low cost, very good quality food. On every Tuesday there, they have entertainment, and every Tuesday it starts at 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock. And there's always a beautiful group of people there. You guys can go to certain events that are going on in Sosua where you can find some really awesome women, the most educated, the most beautiful Dominican women that take care of themselves, and they're not trying to take from you. And they would be embarrassed to even ask you for any money because they wouldn't want you to think that that's what they want from you. But they do like foreigners. A lot of those ladies are at nice restaurants, where all of those restaurants, they have days where they have specials, good deals. Sometimes when you're buying food on the street, it's more expensive than going to the restaurants. Like there's a few restaurants that I really like to go to. There's some restaurants I won't go to because it's just filled with the working girls. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to be in that with all the working girls. They're young girls and they're working, and it's just they're working. So I don't go to those restaurants. But there are a few restaurants out there that I do love to go to, and I see all the guys, and the guys are all there with each other. They're all chilling. They're not even looking at the women. They're just like, yeah, whatever. And it's a daytime vibe. So what's wrong with bringing your kids to that? Who cares? Personally, I'm a grandmother. I already raised my kids. Personally, I don't want to go to some of my favorite restaurants and hear kids crying. Like, I just don't. I don't want to hear kids running around tables and parents, having to calm their kids down. I don't want to see that. And I don't see that in a lot of the restaurants here anyway in Sosua. Margot restaurant, there's not a lot of kids that go there. There's a lot of business people that go there. A lot of, and when they have like families that go there, there's very few children. And also, I don't know, there's a lot of restaurants that I go to and I don't see a lot of children. I think with the prices going up, and I think with a lot of families coming in, a lot of them are leaving the gated communities and they are renting standalone homes, and they do a lot of cooking from home. They have their pool, they have their backyard, and a lot of the kids just stay at home. The school is up. The schools here, there's no working girls outside the schools. So I really do feel that this has to do with just regulating things. Again, Operation Atlantic or Operation Atlantico. I do believe that they are just regulating things. The pimping is getting out of control. The girls are a lesser quality than what they once were. And the tourists are really, they're putting themselves in certain circumstances where it is, they don't even realize who they're with, if they're getting set up. I had one guy that got set up. Not my guy, but I had a client. He rented an apartment from me and he came for 1 month, and he came solely just to be with women. His wife, he was a widower. His wife died a couple of years prior, and he was lonely, and he came all alone. He messaged me and he said, Cerise, I've never been to Sosua. I've been doing a lot of research online. I stumbled on Sosua, stumbled on your YouTube channel. I really like your content. I just want to know, is it safe for a man to go there and just have a little bit of fun? And I get those questions a lot from men, believe it or not. They don't have any friends that come with them. And I said to the guy, yeah, of course, you just have to be smart, So he wasn't smart. And he got here and he's on the beach. A guy goes up to him, like he was on the beach just chilling out at one of the places having a bite to eat. A guy goes up to him and says to him, amigo, how are you? And he's like, I'm good. And he's like, can I get you anything? And so my client, he looks at the guy and he's like what? And he's like, girl or anything. And my client said, yes. He's like, okay, well, yeah, well, show me what you got. And he showed him in his cell phone. He showed him a few girls on his cell phone. Obviously, this guy was a pimp. And so he's showing my client these girls, and my client said, oh, I like that one. And, well, how much and everything. And so he took the girl back to the Airbnb that he rented from me. And you're allowed to, it's guest friendly, and this particular Airbnb has cameras outside of the building and in the hallway of the building. And he, took a girl in, and everything was great. He had a couple of drinks, so he said to her, she can leave. He fell asleep. He told her just lock. She asked if she could shower first, and he said, yeah, he was drunk. He told her just lock the door when you're leaving, and she didn't lock the door, and she didn't know that there were cameras in the hallway. So when she left, he said lock the door from the inside, right, and just close the door. She didn't do that. She left the door unlocked and left the front gate open as well, like ajar. And then a guy went in there and robbed him. And the guy that robbed him, after he saw it on camera, because he called me immediately, he's like, someone just was in the apartment. Who has the key to the apartment? And I'm like, nobody, just the owner and you. And he's like, no, someone was in the apartment. And I'm like, no one was in the apartment. And he's like, oh, yeah, because things are missing. His wallet was gone. Luckily, he still had his passport, but his whole entire wallet was just gone. His watch was taken, and he was like starting to get panicked. He was starting to, get really anxious. And then he says to me, he's like, this is blah, blah, blah. And he starts freaking out. And I'm like, wait, calm down. There are cameras in the hallway. Let me contact the owner. And I contacted the owner right away. And so I'm going to show you guys actually what the owner has. So this is my bedroom. This is me right now where I'm sitting. As you can see, it shows my whole entire living room. And this is let's go like that. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll go like this again. And that's my patio. And so I have cameras inside and outside. And these little cameras, you can actually bring with you on vacation when you come as well. They're only $14.99 American. And you can plug it into the wall. And they look like this right here. Let me show you. Here it is right here. Little camera. And it watches everything. And they're $14.99. And you put it onto your cell phone. And you can even put an alarm on. Let me enable the alarm. $14.99, and they're good. And I can even call myself, so I can at my dogs when I'm out. Hello? Right? So they're really good, handy little things. And so that's what this landlord also has. So the landlord, and not only that, you just put a little chip in it, a little SD card, and it will show you playback for the last few days. And you can go to the date itself, and there's a lot of recording. It just keeps rolling over. So that's the last 24 hours. But I also can go in to the cloud, and it will show me 3 days ago if I want to look at 3 days ago. So this is what happened. The landlord went into her cell phone And she looked right at this at the time. She took a screenshot of the guy that went into the apartment, sent me the screenshot of the guy's face, and I sent it to my client. And I said, "Do you know who this guy is?" And he's like, "That's the guy I met on the beach." So he set himself up. He met this guy who was a pimp, and he went with the girl to the room. He trusted this girl, and I told him, make sure you use your common sense, you know? And he didn't use his common sense. He lost his head. He got drunk. He laid down. He thought, what is she gonna do, you know? He took a photo of her identification. That was something smart he did. Before he took her in, before he slept with her, he took a photo of her identification. So he wasn't afraid that she was going to do anything. She took a shower, she left, and she didn't lock the door. She didn't lock the gate. She left it open a little bit. The pimp goes in, he goes into the apartment, boom, robs the stuff, and gone. Now, here's the other thing. This guy that went in there, I never saw the guy's photo before. When the landlord sent me the screenshot of that guy's face, I've never seen that guy before on the beach. I've been living here for 7 years. So he could have been just someone who was visiting from Santiago, Santo Domingo, you know, maybe the Campo, from anywhere around the Dominican Republic, North Coast, East Coast, West Coast, South Coast, doesn't matter. He could have just been even just here for a moment. God only knows how many other people they robbed that day that they could have been here, or that weekend that they were here, right? So this is also another reason why Sosua does need to be cleaned up, because a lot of the foreigners are not very smart. They're not wise, and they get themselves into some very silly situations all the time. And so I have story after story after story. And so anyway, that guy, he couldn't even get his wallet back. He had the face of the guy on the camera, but without a name of the guy. And the identification that he had of the girl, he gave to the police. The police, what could they do? If they don't have the girl, they didn't know who she was. It was just her identification. And that was it. So what do they do? Put it on file? They make a report? He still had his passport. He was able to forward money to himself, this client of mine. He was able to forward money to himself through Western Union. So he was able to go get his money from Western Union, but his whole wallet with his money and his credit cards were taken. He was able to call. Oh, that's another thing. If you guys are here and you need to make a call to your bank, there's an application called Fongo. If you're Canadian, I don't know if it will work with Americans, but there are apps on the Play Store. If you have an Android or an iPhone, there are apps where you don't need Skype, because Skype you can't use any longer. So you can use an app to call your bank. You get a free phone number. And so that's what he did. He had to call, I had to tell him like what to do, and he contacted his bank and he canceled all his credit cards. And, again, he was able to send himself money from Western Union. And again, he had his passport, but that was a pretty crappy situation, you know? And he automatically thought someone had the key. And I was like, no, nobody. When you get an apartment from me, no one's going to have the key except you and the owner. Not even I have a spare key. So I always say to people, if you lose that key, like, contact me and the landlord will have to go and give you that key. So you guys, like, I really do see the positive in this cleanup. I do. I also see the need for the cleanup, because again, this will stop a lot of crimes against tourism. And now when it comes to the Haitians as well, that's not even mentioned in the Operation Atlantic. Nothing about any foreign, undocumented people being here, whether it's foreigners or Haitians. Nothing like that is mentioned in this Atlantic, Operation Atlantic. But I do know that they were busting in doors for a lot of people here in Charamicos as well. It was out of control. A lot of people were tagging me in certain posts. It was, but I don't think those types of raids are going to happen often. I think it was just a whole shock to the entire system, a shock to everything. And the women, they're shocked right now. Like, they are not going on Pedro Clasante. I don't know about last night, late, but I do know when I was on Pedro Clasante last night, there was nothing. And the night before that, nothing. Just a lot of the tourists, a lot of the guys. So the guys are still coming. And I would suggest that you don't cancel your plans. Still come, love Sosúa for what it is. It's a beautiful place. Okay, so I see you guys are talking amongst yourselves there. Yeah. So, yeah, you guys, again, I would say just be smart. Be smart. This is all an operation to bring you guys more peace of mind when you are coming here, spending your money, your hard-earned dollars on, restaurants here and Airbnbs here and, coming here on flights. And you guys are usually really excited when you get here. I see the excitement in your eyes. I see it in your energy. You guys walk down Pedro Clasante. You're always laughing. There's a lot of joy. I don't see the tourists doing anything negative to be targeted. So no, it doesn't say anything about targeting tourism at all or any of the people. It all has to do with brothels, underage children, and pimping. And those make sense because, brothels are illegal, right? But getting a girl and giving her money for her intimacy is not illegal. Pimping is illegal. He's living off the avails. In Canada, it's illegal as well. A girl doesn't need a pimp here. Women don't need pimps here. And they definitely don't need pimps here. So all they need is a Bumble account and, a beautiful face and a beautiful body. That's all they need. And, be able to communicate on translator, even if they don't speak English. So it is what it is. Pimps are going to be targeted. Don't talk to them. Any man that comes up to you, like what he did to my client, and shows you women on a cell phone, any man that comes up to you and says, "Mi amigo, how are you?" Don't talk to him. Chump that man off. Tell him, "No, I'm not interested. No, thank you. No, gracias. Not today." Oh, because again, there are a lot of undercovers out there. I was sitting at a bar one day on Pedro Clasante, okay, all the way up the street, and I was just like chilling. I was so shocked. I didn't realize that there was undercover police officers in Sosúa. I was really naive of me because of course there would be. So I was sitting at the bar. I'm at the front of the bar, and I'm sitting like pretty much on the street, right? And I'm just sitting, talking to a friend, relaxing, and a Dominican friend. And I was just relaxing, having a conversation. All of a sudden, I see this one man run from here, another man run here. They're wearing jeans, and they bum rush a guy in the field across from the restaurant, the bar that I was sitting. Oh, shoot. Hold on. I must have put the alarm on my outside camera. Hold on. I did. Let me turn that off. Because my cat just walked by and turned and tripped the alarm. So, the two guys jumped this Dominican dude and in the field across from the bar I was sitting at. And I was like so shocked because I've never seen anyone get jumped here before. And I thought it was like a fight. I thought it was like, like someone getting tackled, like they're going to get beat up. But no, they jumped, they got back, they did tackle him. They got him on the ground. Then they picked him up and they put handcuffs on him. And I was like, whoa, those are cops? And my Dominican friend said, yeah, they're undercover. I was like, whoa, I didn't know that there was undercover cops like that here in Sosua. And he's like, they're everywhere. You just don't see them. But, you just don't know who they are either. They also get rotated a lot. The police, those undercover cops get rotated a lot. So they may be here in Sosua for like a couple of months or whatever, and then they get moved to Puerto Plata. They may get moved to Santiago. They get brought back here again. So they're on a rotation. But yeah, there's a lot of undercover cops. So with this, that's going to be happening. At first, I was like, oh my gosh, this is, going to ruin tourism, blah, blah, blah. But it's not. You guys are going to be so happy, I think, with the cleanup. The beach is going to look really nice. It's all demolished now. It's like looking really like horrible. It doesn't really look all that great. And so they're going to be fixing it all up. They are moving quite quickly on the one that's closer to the parking lot. When you guys enter the beach. I went by that yesterday, and I can actually see that they have them up now. So they're moving really quickly on that. And I would say that maybe by the time high season comes, my original estimation was 8 months, about 4 months ago. And so I don't think that they'll be up in 4 months from now. But I do believe that they will be up and running, maybe by Christmas, maybe by like high season. Where are we at right now? We're in July, mid-July, July, August, September, October, November, December, maybe 5 months from now, maybe January, they will be opened up. I believe over here in Charamicos for sure, because they do seem to be moving along really quickly. In regards to the beach being demolished and in regards to the hotels getting put up, the 7 story condos, that's not the government's project. The government's project are the plazas. That's the government's project. Luis Abinader was given the rights like to that land, the government, not just him, but like the Dominican Republic. I heard that they gifted that to him, and he actually came personally to pick up over here in the parking lot to pick up the deeds. So they're building now. He has probably, I think, another this August. My memory is not serving me correctly, but this August, because they go in August, he may have another 3 or 2 years left. So those plazas have to be up before he gets out of office. Now, those buildings, that's not the government. That's private investors. And when all of those vendors are safely in the plazas, then that's when they're going to go onto the beach, and they're just going to demolish everything on the beach. And they're going to start building those buildings. And again, those are private investors. So that might just take about a year. I don't know. It may take less than a year, but they will be very beautiful condos because they're going to be overlooking the bay. And obviously they will be a pretty penny. But I don't know what they're going to do about Route 5, because Route 5 is like so busy. It's only two-way traffic. So that's like a bottleneck, and they cannot put a light up there. If they put traffic lights up, that's not going to be cool, because that's just going to mess everything up. So I don't know what their plans are for that situation. Maybe they will make another lane or two. I don't know. I can't even. And I thought, like, at the back, like, when you're on Route 5 and then you go up a little bit, by Sosua Sunset, I think it's called. And behind there's a whole bunch of buildings, like a whole bunch of houses. Maybe they can like dig out a road all the way out back. But I can't, I don't know. I thought maybe they can put like a freeway type of road, like a ramp going up over top of the road, like a bridge type of thing. But I can't see. the government putting money into that. I think the private investors would have to do something like that. But yeah, it's going to become a lot of traffic. And that's, it's all about growth. It really is. And Sosúa is a small municipality, but it is not all Pedro Clasante. And so when you come here, get out, go to the other places, go to the other restaurants. Of course, Pedro Clasante does have a lot of nice restaurants. Like, I love wings and waffles. And I also love sliced, but that's because I really respect and appreciate the owners, Milton and Dell. I see what they do with their establishments. I see what they have done with the class that they have, I've seen them go in and just make those places look amazing. The food quality, everything is really amazing. So definitely still go on Pedro Clasante and, enjoy your time at those two establishments there. And of course, there's also Jolly Roger. Of course, there's also Fat Jesse's and King's Restaurant. King's is, I think, it's the largest one, but I don't think that that's going to, I mean, a lot of girls are always in there. I don't go in there because there's always a lot of girls. And that is one of the restaurants that caters to a lot of the women. But there's nothing illegal going on in there as far as I know. They're just, the women are allowed to go in there. And same thing with Bailey's. Bailey's, there's a lot. I don't go to Bailey's because there's a lot of women in Bailey's. And those are the only two places that I really see a lot of the women. I don't see the women sit down in a lot of the other places. I just think, it's convenient for the ladies. The ladies are usually walking outside on the road and they're usually getting business done. So when it comes to a lot of that, I think, there's going to be a lot of changes with certain establishments, but not all of them. You guys, and a lot of the guys love to just go and hang out, again, like I said, along Pedro Clasante. You guys just like to go and have a good time. You drink your drinks and, you have a good meal, you have a good cigar, you laugh, you do a lot of people watching. Most of you guys are not even into some of those girls. You just kind of watch them because there's always some type of commotion going on, so yeah. I understand Operation Atlantic now. I understand what their target is. It is pimping, it's underage, it's brothels. And that's what they're targeting right now. And it's about regulating things and and the girls not being exploited. And I believe that will trickle down to tourism being safer as well around Sosúa. So guys, give it some time. Give it some time. Let it grow. In regards to them saying it needs to be family friendly, that's where I'm still confused because I don't see a lot of children in Sosúa at all right now as it is. And I don't just go on Pedro Clasante. I see a lot of children right here in Charamicos, but where are all the jungle gyms? Like, I don't see any parks for children. I don't see anything for children here. I don't see any parks where people can go and monkey bars or anything of that nature. They have that at Sosúa Ocean Village, but there is no catering. So when they say they're going to make it family friendly again, where are all these places that the kids used to go to before? Where are all the jungle gyms? I don't see anything. I don't see any kids restaurants here. There is one, Nelson's Bistro, across from the old Superpola, which is now La Serena. So there's a whole entire jungle gym there, a whole monkey bars and slides, but that's inside of one restaurant. And that is a wonderful family restaurant. And they do cater to families. And it's awesome there. They have karaoke there, and they have really good food. They even have an open pizza place there. They have draft beer there. It's a really great restaurant, and that is the only family friendly restaurant that I know of where you will go and you will see children. Dominican children, foreign children, and yeah, so yeah, you will see a lot of kids there. It's right across the street from La Serena. You guys should go check it out because it is a really good restaurant as well. But just taking it back to Pedro Clasante, Pedro Clasante is filled with bars that cater to tourism, and it's all very adult. Kids can't even go in the bars after, like, kids get kicked out of the bars. If there's a child in the bar, they're getting kicked out. No one's allowed to take their kids in bars after a certain hour anyway, right? So, yeah, I can see that the family friendly concept will take time, but I believe that what they're doing is they're just regulating things right now. I keep repeating that, but it's just because of what my vibe is, my intuition. Right, so the article that I read to you guys, both of the articles that I read to you guys, I'm going to copy them and I'm going to paste them and I'm going to put them in the description if they will fit. Let me see. Yeah, if they will fit. Give me 1 second. Oh, I see. Someone just said Bailey's has good red snapper. I didn't know that. But Bailey's has really good food. Bailey's is one of the best restaurants in Sosúa. And someone just said Flip Flop has Flip Flop is good. Flip Flop is this is a restaurant that does not uphold any of the girls at all. They get chased out quickly. Flip Flop is about, and I will say Gregory is on his toes when it comes to that. Those girls got to go. And it's not because he wants to COCK block. It's because he understands the regulations and he understands that when you have too many females around, eyes start to go on you. And not only that, they don't buy anything. They just want to sit at the table and one water through with the three women. It doesn't mean that he won't allow you to go in there with a girl and chill and sit down. No, he has nothing wrong with that at all. But when the girls all try to go in there and congregate at a table and they're not buying any food, they're not buying any drinks, he's on it. He's like, no. They walk through and they look at the guys that are sitting around and they do their best to walk really nicely so they can get a couple of guys' attention on their way to the beach. And they respect Gregory for that. They do. He's very well respected for that, which is great. I find it really good. That's why that's one of the restaurants that I will go to as well. Flip Flops and great wings. I did a wing crawl many years ago because I really did love the wings there, but I was like, I'm going to see what other wings are around. And I went to Jolly Roger. Jolly Roger has good wings. So does Crazy Ranch in Cabarete, close to Cabarete. And so does Wings and Waffles, but Wings and Waffles didn't exist then when I did the wing crawl. But Gregory's Wings, the owner of Flip Flop, his are always big. Always, I like Parmesan, honey, and I get Parmesan, honey, and garlic. Honey, garlic, Parmesan. I don't even know if it's on the menu, but it doesn't need to be on the menu. You just go there and you ask them if for something and they can prepare it for you if they have it. If not, he'll make sure that they have it there for you the next day. It's really nothing but him making sure that, if they can do it, they'll do it. And so, yeah, that's a really good restaurant. I don't really go to any restaurants on the beach, so I couldn't tell you, but I have been to Fast Freddy a few times. He has good mofongo. And any other places on the beach that I've been to? off the top of my head. Oh, when Zanzibar was there, they were really great. That's Carrie's place. That was probably my utmost favorite restaurant ever here, but he let that go. He used to barbecue turkey wings and turkey legs. And they were like this big, literally. And Noche really loved those too, my dog. So that was a really good place to go to. Um, mm, like back to King's. King's has one of the biggest menus, and Ray tries to make sure that everything on his menu is always in stock, because there are a lot of places before, not now, but there were a lot of places when I first came here. They had like these huge menus, like so many things, and you ask for it, and they're like, oh, we don't have that today. We don't have that today. And his menu is huge, but I've never heard anyone say that they order something and it's not available. He does his best to make sure that it's available, and his food is really good too there. Um, I'm trying to think of some other restaurants going up. Pedro Clasante, Dolce e Sapore. I always say the name wrong. Another good restaurant. They have really good pastas and stuff like that. Of course, Margot is a good. Oh, Mango Tropico. Mango Tropico is an excellent restaurant. They have like on Mondays all you can eat, or not all you can eat ribs, but you get like a whole entire rack of ribs for I think 800 pesos, 16 bucks, and it's all you can eat salad. And those are probably some of the best ribs I ever tried in my life. I'm not a rib person. I really don't like to eat meat off the bone, really. I can't do a lot of that, just psychologically, because I was a vegetarian for most of my life. So I can't really eat meat off the bone, but I will, and those ribs, oh my gosh, they were so delicious. I only went twice, but every Monday they have it there, and it starts, I believe, at 5 o'clock. Oh my gosh, you got to go try it and let me know. Let me know when you do try it, because, again, I'm not a rib eater, but I thought those were phenomenal. And yeah, so Bailey's has good food. Mango Tropical has good food. Oh, Casa Coco. Casa Coco is another restaurant. It is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They never close. They're on the corner close to Flip Flop. And they also have another location close to Margot. But the one that is close to Flip Flop, comfy seating, great prices on their food as well. They also have a buffet on Saturdays for 600 pesos, I believe it is, 12 bucks, all you can eat. And yeah, so you can go in there. They also have music on Saturdays and Sundays. And then there is another restaurant for meat lovers, and it is on Highway 5. Um, it's close to Papatera. If you guys don't know where that is, it's like after Texaco going towards Cabarete, but way, way closer in. It's way closer to Texaco than Cabarete. It's called Germany Bar and Grill. And for, I believe, 550 pesos or 500 pesos, which is 10 bucks, also all you can eat. And great restaurant, but because they're German, they also have stuff like schnitzel, and they also have like ribs there and stuff of that nature. I have a friend that goes there every single Thursday, and he's a very picky eater, and he says that it's one of his favorite restaurants for all you can eat. It's good quality food. So yeah, that is a good restaurant. Let me see here. I'm just gonna look at a couple of the Cerise should what is that? Cerise, when should a remote worker travel for vacation? Um, a remote worker travel for vacation anytime. Let me see. Eight years in jail? Finger? Whoa. Oh, link for the cameras. Yeah, I definitely will put a link for the cameras when the live is done. Um, Actually, you know what? I'll do one better than that. So, as I'm talking, I will go onto my Amazon and I'll get the link and I'll put it in the comments from my other YouTube channel. But I didn't know Finger got that many years. I heard he was in jail or he got picked up, but I didn't realize it was that serious. And coming on vacation, I'm just going to talk as I'm on my Amazon here. Coming on vacation here is come anytime if you're a remote worker. I think you'll always have a good time. But it depends on what you like. It depends on what your desire is. Do you like a lot of people around? If you do, then you want to come in around November to May. That's high season, and that's when there's a lot more people coming in at that time. So right now, it's $14.23, this camera, and it's on Amazon. Let me just get the link right now and copy link, and I'm going to put it in the comments right now, okay? Here we go. There we go. So the camera is right there. You just look at Sister Cerise. That's my other YouTube channel. And the link is right there. And I would so encourage you guys to get a couple of cameras, put them on your cell phone, right? And it literally is just this tiny little device, the size of smaller than a cell phone. It's like a pager, the size of a pager. You get to your hotel room, you just plug it in, it works on Wi-Fi, and boom, it's on your cell phone. You can be anywhere on Pedro Clisante, anywhere in Sosúa, anywhere, and you can watch your Airbnb. And not only that, if you bring a girl in and you do happen to fall asleep and you are vulnerable, then you have everything right there. Everything. She will get in trouble. So let me see here. Yeah, she will be in big trouble. So my advice to you guys is to keep yourself safe, while everything is getting regulated right now. And I just saw someone else saying they're trying to whitewash the Dominican Republic. I don't think so. There's just way too many foreigners from all different walks of life. So I don't think that that's ever going to happen. Hold on one second, guys. Isn't it somewhat whitewashed now anyway, though? I mean, come on. Hold on. My battery was running out, so I had to connect it. And I'm just going to use this microphone for the last little bit of this live. But yeah, guys, so just to reiterate, um, the pimps are being targeted. Um, the pimps are being targeted. The guys that come for underage girls um, are being targeted. And there's a lot of guys though. Like, um, I brought out a story time about underage, and so many of the expat men contacted me afterwards, started to tell me stories about their friends that got arrested because they went with underage women. And I didn't realize that it was like such a bad situation. Um, okay. Uh, I didn't realize. I was like, oh my gosh, really? And so many of my expat friends were like, yeah, they have guy friends that only like underage girls. And not only that, a lot of the underage Haitian girls, you know? Because a lot of the underage Haitian girls, their parents are not here. Either their parents got picked up and deported, or they came over the border looking for a better life, made their way to Sosua, and they are, doing what they got to get done. There was a Haitian girl, who I don't know if I did a story time on this. I don't know if I did it. Anyway, she was a Haitian girl here in Charamicos, living down by La Piedra, underage, and she died on a foreign. No, I didn't do the story time yet. She died on a foreigner's couch in Villa Flor, um, and it was kept quiet. Oh, thank you so much, Caribbean Casanova. I was exposed in pedos, and you and Greg called me a troll. I remember you. I didn't call you a troll. I remember you like 4 or 5 years ago. You lived in Santo Domingo, and you were doing a lot for calling people pedophiles, and you called it out. You really did. So I will give you credit for that. When I started to call you a troll was when you contacted me, and we were actually talking on WhatsApp, like cool conversations, and you started to talk badly about me on your YouTube channel, and I couldn't figure that out. And you even made a thumbnail with my face and the other vloggers, and that wasn't cool, man. Like, like I am a grandmother. I am a mother. My son and my children, I have 2 children and 2 grandchildren, and my mom was alive at the time as well, and my stepdad was alive at the time as well. Both of them have since passed, but they were very proud of me living here in the Dominican Republic. And so they would watch my YouTube channel, but they would also watch other YouTube channels. Like my son loves Flip Flop. Like he loves watching, like my son was only here one time, but he loves watching other people's channels as well. So when he hears stuff on other channels about me, that's heartbreaking, because he knows that I am like a good person. I just want to see people be elevated, So what you did, Caribbean Casanova, that wasn't cool, but I will give you your flowers. I will say, right here, right now, it was years ago, like 5 years ago. This cat right here, guys, Caribbean Casanova, he was, sorry, he was, sorry, he was exposing a lot of the pedophiles. Um, and he was very upset about it. And he was saying that there were pedos, and I didn't see it. I didn't know. And you were trolling me though. So I called you a troll because you were. And then you turned against me, and I couldn't figure out why, because I thought we had a good conversation. I thought we had a good rapport. Like, that's when I was living in Cabarete, right? When I was living up on, and I used to be on my roof all the time, my rooftop. hmm So you came here and you were going to fight someone, You were going after Gregory. You guys were all caught up. There was a lot of back and forth back then. And that's when also that dude, Mayor Sosua, he called himself Michael, and Miko Worldwide was going on and everything. It was horrible. I stayed away from everything. Even when Miko Worldwide, when he first made his scene here. Let me see, what did you say there now? Aw, you're up. I love you too. I respect you. We talked about your dad. Like, I remember our good conversation, and then you even took some of my voice notes, and I think you even put them on one of your videos. Some voice notes that anyway. I don't want to talk about that. Like Tupac says, you know, I ain't mad at you. I'm glad that you're here and you're on my live. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for being here and still, just showing yourself. You were really important to the scene here. You were really important to the scene here, and you still are, Caribbean Casanova. Um, Let me see. Marquise King. It's okay, Cerise. You're not the only one. I watched a lot of channels, and I never seen Caribbean Casanova speak positive about anyone. Yeah. But he saw, I mean, he did see a lot that none of us were seeing. So he did call it out. Thank you, Marquise King. I appreciate that. And yeah, so, I mean, again, like my son, he's 30 years old. My daughter's 36. My grandchildren, they watch YouTube as well. And so these vloggers that want to call me out and say things, there's a couple of them right now, two male vloggers that are expats here. And both of them own businesses. One of them, said a couple of mean things about me. And I have a story about him. Like, he did something very bad to me one night, very bad to me one night. And I was hanging out with him. And we were hanging out, and I went back to his place, and it wasn't like anything like hurting me, like hitting me or trying to take advantage of me or anything like that. But I went back to his place. We had a couple of drinks. We were at a bar, and I went back to his place. And I'm a dog lover, and he had a dog, and the dog kept like trying to get up on me. It's just a little small black dog. Reminded me of my dog, Noche. And so I went to pick the dog up, and the dog went, "Wow!" And he said, "Don't pick my dog up." Right? He got kind of rude, and he's like, "Don't pick my dog up." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And so I sat on the couch. He brought me a beer, and I sat on the couch. And when I'm in people's homes, I'm not that type of person that will go in your fridge. I take my shoes off. I was raised right. So then what happened was, let me see here. Sorry. Caribbean Casanova. I appreciate you, love. I just glad things are getting better and cleaned up. I will see it a lot better, especially when families can come and use the services, and you can make even better living. Oh, thank you, Caribbean Casanova. The families aren't going to hurt anything. I'm going to get back to that story for a second, because this guy's a relatively new vlogger. He tried it before and he didn't get very far, and then now he's doing well. I saw him the other day on Pedro Clasante, and I even said to him, I was like, "Hey," and I know he said something negative about me in one of his videos, and what I really wanted to say was, "Hey, shut your mouth. Like, stop talking rudely about me on your live to airs or on your videos. Like, it's not cool. I don't talk about you." But I didn't. I said to him, I said, "Hey, good channel. Keep up the good work." Right? I took the high road. But anyway, this one night, he told me, "Don't pick up my dog." So I said, "Oh, okay." And he handed me my beer, and then he went into his bedroom or something. He left the living room. This dog kept trying to get up on my lap. So I thought, okay, I'm like sitting down now. So I thought, like, I can put the dog on the couch and the dog can sit beside me on the couch. I know I should have listened to him and I should not have touched the dog. But I'm a dog lover and I didn't want to just look at the dog and be mean. So I went to grab the dog and like scoot her up onto the couch. And she went, ah! And he said, I told you don't touch my effing dog. Come on, we're going. You're getting out. And this was like around midnight. And I was like, whoa, okay. And I got up off the couch. I still have my beer in my hand. And I'm like trying to get my shoes on really quickly. And he's like, you're out of here. And I said, how do I get home? I've never been at his place before. He lives in a gated community as well. I didn't know where his house was. And I didn't know where the gate was to get out. It's in Sosúa. And so it was around 1 o'clock in the morning, actually. And so we chilled before that as well. He came to my apartment before and chilled on my terrace before. So anyway, he said, I said, how do I get home? Like, how do I get to the gate? And so he drove me to the gate, and then we get outside of the gate, and there's no motor controls at that time in the morning. And I said to him, well, can't you like take me home? I only live right there. And then he started to drive me home, and I started to apologize. I said, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean anything by that. Like, your dog just seemed friendly and loving. He said, shut up. Don't talk to me. And I was like, but like, and he's like, get out. And he let me out on the side of the road, 1 o'clock in the morning in Charamicos. Now, I love Charamicos, but I don't go out anywhere at 1 o'clock in the morning, and it is dead in Charamicos at 1 o'clock in the morning. And God is so good. I got out of the car, like he literally pretty much kicked me out on Route 5 and told me, get out. And I got out of the car, his SUV. And as soon as I got out of the SUV, I turned right, and there's a motor concho coming that knows me. And he said, hey. And he saw that I kind of rushed out of the vehicle, and he heard that guy peel off. And he said, get on the bike. Take the bike. And I got on the bike, and he took me home. I never told anyone that story because I was so embarrassed that I didn't listen to the guy about touching his dog. But I mean, I'm very sensitive about it. And I'm not going to cry, but very sensitive about it. And this guy has a YouTube channel. And I would never say his name. He has a business, and I send people there still. People contact me, and they're like, he seems like a little bit of an ass. Like, he seems like he's a little pompous. Is this place nice? And I'm like, I go to his place, of course. Business is business. Business is business. I would never try to block him from making business. I've actually sent clients to him, and he doesn't even know. And I never asked for commission. He doesn't even have any idea. And that really bothered me. And he never apologized. He never, ever addressed it. And then when I saw him on the street the other day, maybe about a month ago, he's walking. He walked past Jolly Roger, and he had just mentioned my name about a week before that because a viewer contacted me on WhatsApp, and this viewer is from Toronto and just happens to know people that I know. Him and my cousin are friends on Facebook. And he messaged me, and he's like, do you know that this guy just like literally called your name out and said something rude to you, something rude about you on his live? And I was like, no, I don't care. I don't watch his videos. Like, and he said, yeah, he said, here's the video. And I'm like, I'm not going to watch it. And he's like, well, do you want to know what he said? And I'm like, no, it's not important. What I don't know is none of my business. Like, it's what he said is none of my business. I don't care. I don't care to watch it. But there was a part of me that wanted to trash him after that. There was a part of me that wanted to come and make a huge video about it and say, you guys know that vlogger? You know what he did to me? But then I was like, what am I going to gain from that? Right? So I say all that to say that there used to be a lot of that before here in Sosúa. Vloggers were fighting online. There was a lot going on. And so Casanova You were one of the ones that, your fight was righteous, but you really got really hot and heavy with it. But your fight was, you were righteous. I understood what your fight was, and it was against pedos. I just didn't know there was pedophiles here, like, because I'm not in that world. I get people apartments. I help people with real estate, tours, stuff of that nature. And yes, when things do change and maybe more families do come in, I'm sure business will pick up in regards to tours. But yeah, I mean, I focus more on studio apartments, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom. I don't get houses for people generally, so yeah, and there's another vlogger too. Just this morning, I heard about one of the vloggers, and my son really likes that vlogger. And he said something about me just the other day on his live about me. And it's like, dude, have some class. I actually speak very positive about you. I spoke positive about his business today on this live and other lives, recently. So, you know, it's we have to stop being bullies to each other as vloggers here in this small town. I know that on YouTube there are a lot of vloggers that talk about a lot of other vloggers, and I may even be guilty of it myself on my sister Cerise channel, my entertainment channel, because of the Diddy trial. I was talking a lot about the Diddy trial, and a lot of the vloggers who were covering that, some of them were putting up things that were negative against Diddy that didn't make sense to me, because I don't think that Diddy was guilty of RICO. I think Diddy is guilty of a lot of things, but the charges that were put against him, I don't believe that he was sex trafficking. He wasn't pimping the girls out. He was actually paying for prostitutes to go in. And I don't think he was doing RICO because he didn't have like a criminal ring making money off anything. He wasn't dealing drugs. He wasn't doing anything like that. I think that if they charged him with other things, then he would have been guilty. But what they were charging him with, I don't believe he was guilty of. And so some of the vloggers that were covering the trial were lying, and they were doing it for clickbait, and their thumbnails were like, Diddy's trying to escape out of jail, and like, Diddy is a fed. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, so I mean, I didn't say their name, but on that channel I called out a couple of vloggers. So I get it. But I just think that in Sosua, especially when I'm going to your business and I'm speaking like, we actually see each other, and we have some of the same viewers, and like, I buy from your place. I send clients to your place. I speak well of you. And then you want to trash on lives, and then smile in my face when I see you, and I hug you when I see you. I literally hug you, and then you hug me back, and then you do that, and my son watches it. That's like too close for comfort, but I still roll with it. I still roll with it because it's minuscule compared to other things that I've been through in life, and minuscule compared to what I went through with that other vlogger that kicked me out of his car 1 o'clock in the morning and left me on the highway, and anything could have happened. Sorry, guys. My phone ran out of battery. I don't know if some of you guys are still here, but thank you. Oh yeah, you are. There's a few of you still here. Thank you so much for hanging on. Yeah, I guess I was going off anyway, and that's just God's way of saying relax. Cut the video off. Um, oh gosh. Hey guys, so my battery is going to run out. There's a few of you guys still here. Thank you so much. Um, my battery is going to run out, and I just want to make sure I say thank you to everyone who has been on live. I kind of went off near the end there on an emotional, sensitive rant, things I don't like to do because, you know, it's not the topic of the whole entire video. And I like to make sure that I stay on topic, but I think it was high time to come out and say something about things and just kind of let those other vloggers know that I'm here. And even though I don't watch their channels, I hear things, and I have people that love me very much watching their channels as well. And things get out, and so when we put down other vloggers and we, try to use our platform to diminish their worth, I don't think it is very cool. I think it just kind of makes them lose viewers and people who would usually like them, they don't want to see the cattiness. So I'm not going to mention any names. I'm not going to call anyone down at all. It's not worth it. But I do want to say at least I got it up off my chest, and that was really awesome. So thank you for sharing with me and being here with me today. I do want to end the video with the reason I started the video, and that was, and let me see, sorry, what does this say? Big back lover. Sometimes you got to stand on business. Thank you. And Baby Bunny says, and she's correct about these bloggers and that they're beef with each other. Wonder where all of them are now. Don't see anyone lives. Yeah. Okay, I missed a couple of these messages here. Okay, I see you guys. Bernard B says, pause, Cerise. Yeah. Um, yeah. I'm done with my rant. I am. And I just want to say thank you guys all for being here. My battery is going to run out, but the situation that's going on here in Sosúa with everything. So they're going after the pimps. They're going after the brothels, and they are also going after the people who want the young girls. What's this? Caribbean Casanova. I'm here to support the good. You are. 7 years in the DR is a big deal. Most people don't make 12 years. Thank you, Big Back Lover. And thank you so much, Casanova. And yeah, 7 years has been great. I don't have any plans on leaving right now. I still have to get my braces off. And I don't have any plans to leave right now. Maybe one day travel outside the country, but the country has a lot of growing to do still, and a lot of flourishing, and also a lot of just a lot. I'm looking forward to seeing the growth. I'm looking forward to one day being able to create products and be able to send them out to everyone around the world, and make some good business that way. And one day live in a yurt in the countryside. That's one of my biggest dreams. Live in a yurt, little nice, comfortable yurt. But yeah, so that's what's happening. You guys don't cancel your vacations. Don't feel like you're going to be targeted when you do come here on vacation. Remember, prostitution is not what they are tackling per se. The article says precisely this Operation Atlantic is tackling underage exploitation, and also they're tackling pimping and brothels. So people who are exploiting the industry of prostitution. But just stay away from the brothels. Some of you guys don't even know they exist. I didn't know they existed until I read that article. And gosh, I didn't even know what cabanas were back in the day either. But if you got to travel for booty, then you have an issue. No, let me see. Word up, Cerise. I'm looking forward to 2025 ring crawl vlog. Who's this? Cole. I don't have my glasses over here. I have to sit where I am right now because I'm charging my phone as I'm talking to you guys. But yeah, if you guys travel, don't worry. If you're traveling, I know it sounds like, I'm promoting it, but I'm not. You guys don't have anything to worry about if you're traveling to come get some loving. You just want to come and meet a girl and have a good time. It's a guy thing. I get it. Guys like to come with guys, and you guys all like to have fun. And that's not what the issue is right now. The issue is literally looking out for the young girls that are being targeted and being exploited by older men. And that is what the Dominicans are not going to deal with. And, there are a lot of men like that do want little girls, and they literally target little girls. So we all know, and you guys are grown men. A lot of you guys are grown men. You're not coming to be with little girls. You're not coming to, many of you are. And if you're watching this and that is your thing, then you are in trouble. You will definitely go to prison, and they will be hard on you. I've done story times on it, and this is nothing new. You can get up to 15 years or more. So you will be a target if you are coming for that little girl type of, intimacy. If you are getting girls from pimps, like if you're on the beach and a guy comes up to you and he's like, my friend, you want a girl? My friend, you want some Bob Marley? My friend, you want some snow? Stay away from all of those people that call you my friend. They are not your friend. And if you're on the beach and they come up to you and they are fast talkers, they speak English very well, and it's a dude, chances are he doesn't have any interest in you except for what he can get out of you in regards to business. So be very careful. Do not talk. You don't need a pimp to get yourself a woman. You don't need that. And don't get yourself a woman with a pimp, because then she comes with problems. Like the story I was saying earlier in the video. Some of those girls come with pimps, and those pimps are out for blood. So this is a way with this Operation Atlantic. They are looking out for also the tourists as well. I don't think that they are coming out and saying, oh, we have to protect the tourists. The tourists are in trouble because these girls and these pimps are dangerous. Because if they say that, then it's kind of like putting fear in travel and tourism. But they're just like, no, little girls should not be touched. Men should not be living off the avails. If these women want to go out there and they want to sell their body for money, they're grown folks. And if men want to come here with the women that's doing that, they're grown folks. Go do your thing. But don't get it from a pimp. And also don't go to a brothel. If you go into any house where they have prostitutes and you can choose from any girl you want, that's a brothel. Okay, don't go in there. Protect yourself. If you're on the street and you see a girl, she comes up to you, she starts talking to you, she asks you for your WhatsApp, give her your WhatsApp if you're interested. She will send you some photos and you guys can do whatever, make your deal. right? That's the best way to do what you have to get done if that's what you're coming here for. And I'm not promoting it. I'm just trying to put it down in layman's terms and logical terms. You are not being targeted if you are a tourist and you happen to be at a restaurant and a girl comes up to you, you exchange numbers, and you take her back to your Airbnb and she has a price. That's You're not going to get arrested and put in jail for that at all. But again, I can't express it enough. Don't go to any of those houses. If a guy comes up to you and he wants to take you to the house because there's a lot of women there, don't bother going. And make sure when a girl, if she looks young, then use your common sense. Do not get involved. If she looks really young and she shows you identification, because a lot of these girls have fake ID as well, right? And she shows you her identification and you're still iffy about it, it's not worth it. Don't bother, because you don't want to go to prison for in a foreign country like this for many, many years, even if she does show you a certain identification, because the authorities here will be like, well, couldn't you see that she only looks 14? Couldn't you see she only looks 16? You know, I did a story time on a guy that went to jail, a German guy that went to jail. And he told me the story time from jail, you know. There was another guy, he wasn't with the girl. I was telling the story earlier and I got cut off for some reason. But there was a girl, a Haitian girl, and she was underage, and she lived right here in La Piedra, and she went to one of the condos. So the German guy, he was a widower, and he was walking down Pedro Closante one night, and he passed out. He had diabetes, and he needed to eat some sugar. She saw him like passing out. He didn't pass out completely, but she saw him passing out. A couple of girls were helping him up and they pickpocketed him as they were helping him up. This Haitian girl went over to him and she had a banana and she gave him, she said she heard him saying that he needs sugar, he needs sugar. He's diabetical, and he kept saying it out loud and not very strong words, but in German. And she spoke German because a lot of Haitians here, they speak like some of them 5 languages: English, French, Creole, Spanish. That's like 4 languages right there: English, French, Creole, Spanish. And then sometimes they speak German. So she understood enough of it, and she heard like diabetic, and so she gave him a banana. And then he sat on the side of the curb, and she took him home. He like she held his arm and she walked him home to his condo, which was on Pedro Closante. They get back to his condo, and he didn't want to sleep with her. She was 17 years old. He didn't want to sleep with her. He had a spare room. He didn't know how to send her back to Charamicos because he was afraid that she would get picked up by the police. It was a really sad situation. And her appendix burst, and she didn't want to go to the hospital. And he told me that she passed away, and she was only 17 years old. And he was terrified to call the authorities, but he did. And they didn't do anything to him. Apparently they just said, well, you know, he told them that he didn't pay for any sexual services. And they believed him, actually, right? Apparently, that's what he told me. And yeah, so she died. She died. And she refused to go to the hospital because she was afraid to go to the hospital. She didn't want to get deported to Haiti. She didn't realize that she was that close to death, apparently. And it was a burst appendix. So I don't know really about that burst appendix situation. I don't know if someone gets sepsis or whatever, but that's what he told me. And he was so afraid because he was so afraid to get charged. She was only 17. But there's so many other stories out there, and there's so many people out there that will take advantage of young girls. And you may think that 17 is not young. You may think that 18 is not young. You may think that 16 is not young. I had a baby at 17. And the father was 5 years older than me. And my dad was so upset. He was so upset and so disappointed. But he understood the situation. He died while I was pregnant as well. My dad died while I was pregnant. And it was a sad situation, but I mean, I look at myself at age 17 and I don't feel like her father took advantage of me. He was 5 years older than me, so I don't feel like he took advantage of me. But other people may feel that I was too young, but I don't think I was. But here in a country where 18 is the legal age, it doesn't matter what you think. You have to be 18 to drive. You have to be 18 to get married. You have to be 18 to drink. You have to be 18 to get yourself into any type of intimacy. And that's just that. So be careful out there, guys. That is who's being targeted right now with this Operation Atlantic, not tourists. But there were people that were detained. And as I said in the article, all the information's there. I will put the article in the description of this video. If the full article doesn't fit, I'll put the link so you can go in and you can go to the link. And the link will take you to a group that I have on Facebook called Everything North Coast Dominican Republic, where a lot of businesses post and a lot of real estate Thursdays. Only on Thursday is there real estate. But the rest of the week, a lot of restaurants post. So it's nice just to be a part of that group as well, because you get to see what restaurants are out in Sosúa. And it's not just Sosúa that posts in that group. It's Everything North Coast Dominican Republic, but it's mainly Sosúa. But there's places from Las Terrenas and everything that posts in that group. Mainly food, mainly like products like car rentals and apartment rentals, stuff of that nature. So it's a fun group, and it's a fun group where you can also go and get information. So I will put the link to it and you guys can go check it out. Well, guys, the days of chicas served up on a silver platter are over. If you're into the hobby and know how to move, you're okay. Yeah, they're gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be all right here. The women are gonna get cleaned up. Some of these women are just out for blood. Some of these women are very dangerous, and they don't care about you. They don't care about you. And any opportunity that they can get to take from you, they will. Many of them. So a lot of those girls will be cleaned up and they will be on their toes. Like I said, they'll be dotting their I's and they'll be crossing their T's, because the tourists are going to have the power now. It's not illegal for you to get a girl. You will still be able to do what you got to get done. It's illegal to use a pimp. It's illegal to go to a brothel. It's illegal to get a girl underage. So it looks like the days of the women having the power to do what they want to do and having the power to be on top, looks like that's over. It looks like the ladies are going to have to start really being regulated. They're going to have to start really being on their toes. And I honestly been saying for the last few years, I've been saying they're probably going to start making the ladies pay taxes, because they make good money and they're making American money, American dollars. Well, they're making pesos, but they make really good money, a lot of the girls. And I do believe that they will probably start regulating it to a point where the girls do have to make sure, maybe even register themselves as sex workers, because not only that, they may have to be cleaned up, some of them, in regards to making sure that they don't spread anything. I haven't heard about a lot of diseases here or STDs, but of course, I'm not in that whole entire industry. I don't know a lot about that. I don't have conversations about that. I don't know anything really unless someone gives me a story time. And I haven't had any story times where people are talking about getting diseases from the girls. So I'm quite shocked. I'm very surprised. But maybe they may start regulating the girls even to that degree, where if they're going to be a sex worker, they have to be a registered sex worker. Who knows? This is just me surmising. You know, when I said that they're going to be changing Playa Sosúa, people were like, "Oh my gosh, what is she talking about?" And it was told to me from a politician, giving me this undercover information. No politicians are talking to me right now about any of this. I got the information that I did share with you is from an article. What I'm saying right now about the girls being registered sex workers, I'm thinking that that will come one day. If they continue to allow prostitution to be legal, then they will get on top of that. Having girls register themselves, making sure they go and they get checked up. They are putting an office in Sosúa, uh, a real prosecutor's office for this whole Operation Atlantic. So I do believe they're going to be getting more serious as time goes on. They're not just going to have people come here and put the tourists at risk, health wise and also financially. You know, your hair is so pretty. Thank you. Okay, someone deleted their message. Hi to everyone. Yep. Hey everyone. Oh wait. Looks like your name is in maybe Thai. I don't know, but hello. Thank you for joining. And yeah, guys, so it's all about regulation. I gotta go and I have to edit my story time that I will be bringing out today at 2 o'clock. I guess it's 1 o'clock now. It should be edited by 2 o'clock. It should be published by 2:30. Let's say 2:30. It's a crazy story time. A wife sent her private investigator to look over her husband here and found out he was cheating with a Dominican. Very layered, very interesting. First time I ever heard about this type of thing. So I wanted to share it with you guys. And that's about it. That's about it. You guys enjoy your day. It's a beautiful Thursday out here in Sosúa. I wish I could show you guys the beach because it's right there. But there's some of outside how it's looking, really beautiful. And you guys, I really want to thank you for being here and giving me support. 7 years yesterday was my anniversary in the Dominican Republic. I learned a lot. I have fallen in love with the people, the culture. I just feel now like I wouldn't even be able to return back to Canada because I love speaking Spanish. This is the culture that I've taken on for the last 7 years. And it's a beautiful place to be. So come on down here. If you're looking for a place, an apartment, give me a shout. Again, don't be afraid to come on vacation. You are not the target. You're going to be totally fine. Walk around with your passport and just be smart. Don't do any drugs. Don't talk to any pimps. Don't go to any brothels. Don't be with any underage girls. But you guys already know that anyway. Many of you just come for cerveza, fish, snapper, a nice rib meal, cigars, some good brandy. Most of you guys just come for the camaraderie anyway, and you get yourself a couple of girls and you're good. You're not here for the underage girls. You're not here for the drugs and the pimps and stuff, the brothels. You really are cool and you just kind of keep it real. So yeah, just keep yourself out of trouble. Again, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, give me some love. I love you. God bless you. Be good to yourself. Please be good to yourself. Think good thoughts and be good to others. No bullying. Be good to others. Everyone out there has a story. Everyone out there has a struggle. Everyone out there has had something in their life that they've had to get past. So we're all like children in a playground. Adulting is not always easy, but we got to do it and we have to be fair. So even though I spoke about some of those vloggers today, it was just, as someone said here in the live, standing on my business and just letting people know what is really happening and that we shouldn't be catty to each other. We all have our own channel and we all have to keep it real. I mean, and we all have stories, but I'm quite confidential, especially the one story with that one vlogger that, kicked me out of their car 1 o'clock in the morning on the highway and in the dead of night. And I won't say his name. And again, I took the high road and I congratulated him on his YouTube channel because it's picking up and it's doing well. And I know that he'll see this video and I know that he'll watch this. And I'm not expecting an apology. I just want him to know that I didn't forget that. And it's not easy to forgive either, that type of situation, because that was mean. That was horrible. And you showed me your character, Mr. Scorpio. You showed me your character. And that was not cool at all. And maybe when you do see me, you will have the decency to say, hey, Cerise, you remember that time? I just want to take a moment to apologize to you. You didn't deserve that. You didn't deserve that. And maybe you'll admit that you were maybe, really cruel, very indecent. But then again, if you don't apologize, that's totally fine too, because God is everything to me. And I know that you are, for you to hurt someone like that, you must have been really hurt. So hopefully you deal with your hurt before you hurt other people. Hurt people. And hopefully you'll deal with it. Big Hurt says, you had a good time. Oh, I had a good time last night. I had a couple of drinks. I had a real good buzz on. It's not often that I go out to Bate and go to restaurants and stuff like how I did last night. But I went out for a good meal at El Choco. I was with a good friend. It was really awesome. And then after that, I was supposed to come home to do my live, but time was running. So I went and I did it from Bate, and it was good. I actually put that video on private because I didn't watch the whole thing and I was a little buzzed. So I was a little embarrassed when I woke up this morning. I was like, oh gosh, I was buzzed on a live. So that's the reason why I did a live this morning, unscheduled, and something I never do, lives this early. But it was nice to have so many people on here. And that's the reason why, because I wanted to be a little bit, I wanted to give you guys a proper, more professional live with information that you will comprehend and appreciate. So I'm glad that I came on live today and I redid the live. The other video that I did last night, I need to forgive myself. I'm really hard on myself because I don't want to come off like an idiot or smashed on alcohol. It's also just like my family watches other vloggers here. They also watch me, and I don't want my family looking at me like that. Or people like you guys that love and respect me. I don't want to lose respect. So, although I didn't do anything wrong, it wasn't horrible. It's just that I want to represent myself better, and that's that. I might take the video off private. I might. I just might, but I just might not. We'll have to see. And then I might just say, who cares? Why am I judging myself so harshly? It's all in fun and love. That's all. But the same information that I gave on that video is the same information that I gave today anyway, just in a better light. All right, guys, you're so awesome. Let me see. What do you do, Big Hurt? Woke up to the sunrise painting the sky. Palm trees swaying like they're saying hi. Coconut water dripping down my chin. Sosua mornings, let the day begin. I live where I love and I love where I live. Every moment here's got something to give. The rhythm of the islands in my soul. Living the good life feeling. That's my theme song. I have a client calling. I'm a soul coach. So I'm going to talk to my client right now. Hey, hold on 1 second. I'm just getting off a live to air. I'm going to call you right back, okay?
Yeah, I'll call me back.
Okay. So I'm just getting off the live right now with you guys. I'm going to talk to my client. But yeah, I have a new theme song. I love it. It's called I Live Where I Love and I Love Where I Live. Great vibe. I'm going to put it in the story time. The story time that I'll be putting out today. I'm going to be putting that out now that I'm going to be talking to this client, probably for about a half an hour. Look for the story time. Let's say 4 o'clock. And I will have my whole theme song in that story time. I love the theme song. All right, guys, I love you. And oh, Big Hurt, you asked me, what do I do? What do you do? I am a soul coach. It's kind of like a life coach, but I don't like set benchmarks for people to achieve things in life. I just talk to them about their issues in their life and just how they can get past certain things in life. A lot of it has to do about relationships. A lot of my clients contact me about relationships, family and work and career. And they just really want to talk to me because I've lived so many lives in my 53 years, and I've been, experienced a lot of hurt. I experienced a lot of happiness. I've experienced a lot of good times and shocking times. I mean, I think we all have in life, but some of us a little bit more than others. And so I like to share the experience and, help people with that. I think we're all on a mission here, and we have to live our journey. We're all good souls at the end of the day, and we're living this human experience. And some people in this human experience are, they need a little guidance along the road. So I used to be on the radio as a soul coach, a spiritual advisor, and I'm also a writer. So I have a lot of clients that I speak to on the phone from all around the world about life issues, give them advice. And a writer, I write spiritual books. I write, I have a few guides that I wrote on the Dominican Republic. Right now, I'm writing a murder mystery novel. I'm writing so many books at one time right now. I'm writing a murder mystery novel. I'm writing also a book called Pimp to Pastor. It's about a pimp that becomes a pastor. It's a real life story about one of my clients who I was his soul coach, and he killed somebody in downtown Toronto. And it's based on the true story. And I have another book that I'm writing. It's about an influencer. It's about, it's loosely based upon a woman that once was, she was obsessed with me when I was in Toronto. A lesbian woman who had bipolar as well, and she's one of the reasons why I left Toronto and went on vacation here. So because I just needed like peace of mind. So I wrote a book about that, but not, I made the story and it's called Influencer. So I'm working on that. And there's another book that I'm writing. I just started to write a simp book, How to Not Be a Simp. So I'm writing all of those books simultaneously. It really keeps me busy. And then I also have a few YouTube channels. I have an entertainment channel called Sister Cerise. And I have a spiritual channel where I do spiritual advice, and it's called The Fifth Dimension. Fifth is spelled with a 5. And then I have another channel on true crime. It's called the Fairfax Files. No, not the. It's called Fairfax Files. So I do a lot of videos and a lot of editing throughout the week, and I speak to a lot of clients each week. And that's why I usually only go outside on Thursdays and Saturdays, unless I have to go do something else, like a business meeting or an appointment for my braces. But aside from that, that's what I do. And I love what I do, and I do what I love, just like I live where I love and I love where I live. And I also have I have little babies, little fur babies. I have 2 little dogs and I have a cat. So there we go. This one's name is Luce. She's a new one. Say hi. Say hi. You say hi? Yeah. We're still potty training her. All right, guys. I have to contact my client back, and then I have to edit a lot of stuff. And Mr. Patrick, hey, how you doing? And Ross Warrior says no lesbian books. No, it's actually about a woman that I had to run from. Oh, Ross Warrior. Rastaman vibration. Yeah. Positive. We keep it positive on this channel. You know that. Not that lesbians are not, but I don't talk about what I don't know about. So that's that. All right, guys, I love you. I got to contact my client back, and then I got to edit story time. Please subscribe, hit that like button. Thank you for being here with me. I love you. Thank you for being patient with me yesterday on that other live where I was just so lit and just excited about life because it was my 7-year anniversary here and I still wanted to talk to you guys, but I have to make sure that I keep things professional. Stray Python, those sound like some nice screenplays. They're going to be nice screenplays, eh? They will be I'm thinking about turning story times into screenplays. I've been thinking about that for many, many years. And so I'm thinking about getting more and more into that as the probably next year comes. I got to find myself some actors and a plate, like, some good cameras and stuff of that nature, some good microphones. And I would like to do some real story times. And Beanie says hi. Says hey, Beanie or Bernie? I don't have my Beanie. Benny. Love your Canadian except pops. My Canadian accent pops out. Really, eh? All right, guys, I gotta go contact my client, and you'll be seeing more of Luce in the future. All right, story time. Make sure you guys tune into story time today. Bye. Mwah. Remember, before I let you go, Operation Atlantic. They're going after the pimps. They're going after the guys that go for underage girls. And they're going after the brothels. They're not going after you. Come patronize the places here on Pedro Clisante and the rest of Sosúa. Come and mind your business. No one's going to mind your business for you. And just enjoy life. I am looking forward to... I'm looking forward to meeting all of you guys when you come to the Dominican Republic. Take care, everyone. Huge hugs, loads of love, big blessings. Bye.